Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Ich bin Alphonsine. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And yeah, share to friends and family so that they also profit from this educative things I am sharing with you. Okay, today I have two pay slips, okay, from two different students who work in Germany, and I'm coming to share with you um what they earn, okay? We'll look at their earnings a month and we'll look at their expenses, their taxes they pay. And when we deduct everything from the net income, what is actually the money left in their pockets for them to use or to save, okay? So this is a pay slip from someone um, who works during the night. Okay, he works as a night shift, and yeah, if you look at the pay slip, it's a pay slip of April 2023. Okay, and when you look at the here, okay, the Kinderfreier Betrag, it's 0.0, which means that the person doesn't have a kid. Okay, and when you look at the Steuer class, the Steuer class is 1. So this is the tax class. It is 1. And in German, we have different types of tax classes. We have tax class 1, class 3, class 4, class 6, and so on. So later on, I'll make a video and explain to you what it's actually included in all these different types of classes and tax classes. But this person in particular is on Steuer class 1, which means he does only one job that is being taxed, okay? And probably he does any other mini job. So the mini job is not taxed. Okay, so he doesn't do two different jobs which are taxed. Okay, when you're on Steuer class 1, it means that you do just one job which you are being taxed. All right, so this is it. And when you look at the details of the pay slip, I have explained the important things on the pay slip here. Okay, this is what you should actually look for. The Lohnsteuer, okay, is the income tax. So the income tax is calculated on the salary that you earn, on the gross salary you earn. And of course, the Krankenversicherung is the health insurance, all right? And davon allgemeine Betrag and davon Zusatzbetrag, they are all, it's this one means general contribution and additional contribution. So these two together make the health insurance, and this is calculated by the employer, which is the Arbeitgeber, and they do their own calculations, and based on whatever you earn, you have to pay towards your insurance, and this insurance is paid by the employer. All right. And looking at this payslip, when I went through, the person is on AOK insurance. Okay, we have different types of insurances in Germany. So this person is on the AOK insurance, and you look at the Rentenversicherung is the pension insurance. And of course, we have the Arbeitslosenversicherung, which is the unemployment benefits. All right, so let me quickly explain the pension insurance. You know, as you are working, you contribute towards your pension so that when you grow old, you would have had your pension insurance sitting somewhere, okay? And then every month you are being given your pension insurance as like a salary. Yes, and the Arbeitslosenversicherung is the unemployment benefit. This one is actually a contribution made towards future events in the case you are unemployed, right? In case you lose your job, then there is this institution called the Agentur für Arbeit. Okay, they are in charge of it. So when you draw the attention that you do not have a job or you lose your job, then they look at whatever you have contributed, and they pay you per month until you get a job, right? So you contribute towards that, and I think it's cool. And we have the Pflegeversicherung, which is the Pflege means care, yeah, in English. it means care. It's a long-term insurance that you also contribute towards it. So these are some of the things that actually is deducted from your gross salary, and all these things together makes the tax, okay, and is deducted from your gross salary in order to get your net salary. So looking at this payslip, the person had 2,390.09 as the gross salary. And when you deduct all these things, so the income tax, for instance, the person had to pay 149.08. Health insurance was like 174.02, okay, included. The general contribution and the additional contributions are included. And the pension insurance was 197.36. Unemployment benefits was 27.59. And the long-term care insurance is 39.79, right? So when you add all these things and deduct from the gross income, then of course you get the net income, which is the netto, yeah? The net salary, 1,802.25, right? So this is what this person takes home at the end of the month, okay? Mind you, the employer has already paid your health insurance, okay? So when you get this money, you do not have to pay any health insurance again, okay? And let me draw attention on something. In Germany, the more you earn, the more you are being deducted for tax. The lesser you earn, the lesser you are being deducted for tax. So in this case, the richer does not become more rich and the poor does not become more poorer, right? So it's a win-win situation. So they do this for everybody so that everybody or any citizen in the country, everybody in the country can get a better stance, right? This is what is done. So let's check on the total expenses. So this person works during the night shift, okay? And this is a full-time job. It's a full-time job as a student. Now, the gross salary, as we checked, was 2,390.09. And the tax, when we add everything, is 587.84 euros. Now, the net salary is 1,802.25. Now, this person pays 300 towards rent, right? In Germany, okay, or in some big cities in Germany, such as Berlin, Munich, Hamburg, you would pay more, okay? You pay more, maybe about 400 or 500 euros, because Berlin is the capital city and rent is quite expensive. And Munich and Hamburg are rich cities, okay? So things are also expensive there. So of course, you would pay more towards rent, okay? But this rent specifically is a rent paid in occupying a Studentenwerk hostel, right? This rent here is just the rent paid or the money paid for occupying a Studentenwerk hostel. So if you are just renting your own apartment or your private apartment or your private room, then of course you'd have to pay more. But this is the basic, okay, for a Studentenwerk hostel, right? So this person is not in a big city, right? So if you're in, for instance, Dresden, Leipzig, Hanover, or even Cologne. Cologne is the big city, but the rent is quite moderate for you to pay if you're in a Studentenwerk hostel, right? So this person gives away 300 as rent. Now, for groceries, of course, this person is an African and he goes to the Afromarkt, okay? And we all know that the Afromarkt, things like the Afromarkt are quite expensive compared to the German supermarket, okay? Now, because of the war and other stuff, things have become more expensive, right? But I think that when the war hadn't begun, you could spend like 150 or 200 euros a month as a single person on groceries, right? So Yeah, it's just now that things have become quite expensive. That's why you are just giving away a lot of money um, to buy groceries. Okay, so 300 for groceries. And of course, if you are a student, it depends on the city, the state, and the school itself. But most of the times in Germany, you pay a semester ticket unless you are in a private universities. In some cities like Berlin or Hamburg or München, yeah, they do not allow students to um, get the semester tickets. The student themselves purchase their tickets on themselves, okay, for themselves. Then they will use it. But most of the schools, most of the cities allow that a student must have a semester ticket, and the semester ticket is paid every semester. So in his this person's case, for instance, his semester ticket is 300 euros per semester, and in a year, we have 2 semesters in a year. So you should pay like 600 euros in a year for a semester ticket, right? And if you should divide 600 by 12 months, then a month you should pay like 50 euros, okay, for a semester ticket. So when you add all these expenses, okay, and you subtract from the net salary, the person is of course going to get 1,152.25. Okay, so this is the person's my money that is going into his pocket. Now, what I advise is that you should be wise when you get such a money, because one, you would have to go to the Ausländerbehörde to renew your visa or your resident permit when it expires. Okay, if you are not a scholarship student. Yeah, some scholarship students, because you just get a scholarship, the scholarship money, sometimes you do not need to block. You don't need to block because they know that you are on a scholarship. But if you are not on a scholarship, when you go to the Ausländerbehörde, the visa officer can, it depends on the person you go to meet there. The person can tell you, okay, um, upon looking at the amount seated in your account, the visa officer can tell you, okay, I'm just issuing you 1 year resident permit so that you can use that to work. Okay. Also, on the other hand, if you go and meet someone who will not look just at your account, the person can tell you to go and block an amount of 12,000 euros. And you know that blocking this amount is quite, it's quite hard. Okay. The person can tell you to go and block, or you can also bring a vertrag, a contract, which states in a contract to the visa officer, and in the contract they will know the amount of money you earn a month, so that they will know that okay, if you earn this amount of money, can this amount of money survive, and can you be able to survive on this amount of money for a month? And how long is your contract? So they take all these things into consideration. So if you know that your contract is getting expired and is expiring for a period of time, which you'd have to go to the embassy. So you have to go to the Ausländerbehörde to extend your visa. You have to be wise, okay? You should be able to save a lot. So this person, for instance, should be able to save at least 1,000 euros a month. Okay, you should be able to save 1,000 euros a month so that you will get more money by the end of the year. Okay, for instance, if your contract is like 1 year, this person, for instance, can get like 10,000 or 11,000 euros in order to go and renew his or her work permit, right? Okay, so this is how it is. I always tell people that you should not be the hero back home. If you have this amount of money, you know why you are in Germany, you know what you want to do, you know you have projects, you have visions and you have ambitions to accomplish. So you really need to save, okay? Save for whatever you want to do. Do not be the hero in the house or in your home country. Some people will call you, I need this. I do not have money to buy food to eat. I am sick. I am that. I need money to pay my daughter's school fees. Do not give ear to all those things, because for all you know, the person back in your home country is doing something better, is earning more money than you here. Okay? So when you work, be wise, and then also look at what you want to do after school. If you know that the course you are doing here will not permit you to get a decent job after school, then you have to improve yourself. And improving yourself is not for free. If you want to improve yourself in the field of IT, for instance, it's not for free. Okay, if you want to do certain courses, you need to pay, and you have to take all those things into consideration. Do not be sending money back home. I personally have seen all these things, and I feel I'm giving an advice to people so that you really take it into consideration. I will not do that. People have been calling me and asking me, I'm broke, I need money. I will not do that, because when I was in Ghana, these people were living without me helping them. So I don't know why I should be helping when I'm in Germany. Just because you are in Germany, people think that there is money. Okay, for the second pay slip, I didn't get a recent pay slip. This, for instance, is for the month of October 2021, so it's quite a little bit long. And the person does not have any kid, okay, which zero. The person does not have a child, and of course, this person is on Stoya class 1, okay, which I explained earlier, right? So, and of course, I have cancelled the important details of the person, yeah, which is personal, yeah. And this person work during the day, not in the night, during the day, but part-time. This person is a part-time worker. And yeah, when you check the brutto, the gross salary of the person was 1,101 and some cents, okay, 1,101 and some cents. And of course, the Krankenversicherung, which is the health insurance, was 80.70. The Rentenversicherung, which is the pension, was 95.61. The Arbeitslosenversicherung, which is the unemployment benefit, was 12.34. And of course, the other healthcare, yeah, was 18.32. So these were the things that were taken into consideration as tax. And yeah, they were all added and deducted from the brutto, which is the 1,101 and some cents. Okay, so when you check the person's netto, okay, the net income was 894.39. Okay, this was the person's netto. Now, as I said earlier on, this person is a part-time worker. Okay, so now let's do the calculations. Okay, so yes, of course, the person is a student, and the gross salary, as we checked, was 1,101.36. And yeah, when we added all the tax, all those things included as tax, yeah, the Rentenversicherung and so forth, it included it summed up to 206.97. Okay, so when you deduct it from the brutto, which is the gross salary, then the person should get 894.39, right? Okay, so this person's total monthly expenses, rent. Okay, this particular person lives in Cologne. Okay, and in Cologne, you know, even in Germany, the more you stay near to the city center, the higher the rent. If you are further away from the city center, the lesser the rent. Okay, so this person is located in the city center, and that is why she's paying 270 euros a month as rent. Okay, and mind you, this rent, okay, this person living in a Studentenwerk hostel, and this rent includes a Nebenkosten. Nebenkosten is like if you want to your rubbish, okay, everything concerning your rubbish and other stuff, okay, included in the Nebenkosten, which you should pay, right? So if you were living in a private apartment, you would pay the private apartment and you paid all these things separately. For instance, your Nebenkosten, your water, your electricity, your heating, you pay everything separately, okay? Some also include them in all the cold rent, right? So this, for instance, is a Studentenweg hostel and its part is just a warm rent. You do not need to pay all these things separately. It's included, okay? Electricity, water, Nebenkosten, heating, and then internet. Everything is inclusive. Okay, so of course, this person tells me that Afromact a month and groceries like shopping is 300 euros. Okay, and then of course, this person, for instance, is a student at the Cologne University of Applied Sciences, and she pays 300 euros for the semester ticket. So 600 euros for a year. And yeah, when you strike the difference, it should be 50 euros a month. So when you deduct all these things from the 894.39, you should get 274.36. Okay, so okay, it should be 274.39. Okay, there's an error here, 0.39. So this is the person's money that is going into her pocket. Now, such a student should be able to save 200 euros, at least 200 euros a month. Okay, I feel that since you are a student and you're a beginner, you should be able to squeeze yourself at a time, right? To get what you aim, you aim at getting. So when you get it, then you'll be able to do whatever you want to do. Okay, I know that most of the students, when they come, they are entitled because you have a student visa, okay, and you, I mean, your studies will take a long period of time. You can go for the a visa, for an American visa or a UK visa or wherever you want to go. I mean, you can go for those visas and then start traveling around and go here and there and go for excursions and stuff like that. But for me, I feel that since you are new, okay, since you haven't gained much more grounds or you haven't gained more routes, you should be able to get a route. Then later, you'll be able to explore all those countries. You see, you do not have to take all your savings and exploit countries, okay, like Greece and France and other things. So it means that the savings that you are putting down is what you are spending on those excursions, okay. So you should be very wise in saving. You should be very wise in saving. There are some things that you have to put down for now, okay, and then focus on something better. So when you get this something better, then you will focus on the other things, okay, which is the traveling, the exploration and stuff like that. This is for me, but I don't know for you guys. Okay, so that is my advice for students, right? Because after your studies, you have a year and 6 months to be able to find a job, a decent job, okay? And this job should be in the field of your study. I hear that people are saying now the job you are supposed to get should not be in the field of your study. But when you go to the employer or if you apply for a job, the employer would like you to get some experience in whatever job you are coming to do. Okay, so if you don't have that experience or if you didn't study it during school, it is very hard that the employer can employ you, right? So it's kind of tricky, right? They are saying that you do not need, so for instance, if you studied natural resource management, okay, and you want to work in the field of um, let's say, I don't know which job, but if you want to work in the field of um, maybe taking care of older people, okay, taking care of older people, you know, the course you did and the job you are going to do not correlate. Okay, so the employer would like to know which experience you have in taking care of older people. you see. So in this way, there are house building like training or apprenticeship you can go and do, right? So these are some of the things that you will do. But there is no, under normal circumstance, will you not have the basic skills and expertise, or the basic skills and knowledge, and the employer will employ you to work in his or her company. It doesn't work that way. Whatever you are coming to do, you should have gone through a skill, like you should have gone through a training, or you should have gained better skills, or you should have done some internship to gain the skills before the employer will employ you. Okay, so all these things require money. If you do not know what you are going to do next after your school, you should consider all these things. That's why I'm saying, do not send money frequently to your home country. It is not advisable. It is not advisable at all to do that. No. If they will not stay, or they will not survive without you, so it be. Okay, so this is my advice I'll have to give you. And thank you so much for watching. And this was actually some examples I want to give you so that you know what it entails actually in your pay slip, and whatever money they are taking out from your gross salary. All right. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Share to friends and family so that they join the family to become big. And of course, I'll give you more and more video concerning school stuff and other things. Thank you so much for watching. The name still remains Ishbin Alphonsine. Bye.